things. I'm the sort of person where if I walked into a tree, I'd say sorry to it. He has to have his dinner first. If other horses are being fed, he must be fed. Like, Joey is the king of the yard. Hello everybody and welcome back to my podcast, Esme's Country Life. Before we begin, I just want to say a huge thank you to the sponsor of the podcast, Redpost. Redpost is an equestrian and country store based in the UK, but they also ship all over the world. And something that I can't believe I haven't told you about yet about Redpost on the podcast is that Redpost actually, they have an app. So also on the app, they do have exclusive deals, and most equestrians, I feel like actually, I was going to say most, all equestrians, we love a deal. We love to save some money. So if you want to go and see those deals on the Redpost app, then be sure to download it on the App Store. It's free to download. But anyway, let's jump into today's episode. Oh my goodness, I feel like I've got a lot to talk to you about, but like lots of like little stories on this week's sort of update, especially as last week I did a Q&A, so it's actually been like a 2-week update. So I thought I'd talk to you about my really fun beach day with Joey. So I've actually recently been shooting the new, I was gonna say autumn winter then, that's already done, that's complete. You guys know what those are, but the new spring summer collection for Lemieux. Now most years, everything's a little bit disorganized and we end up shooting these spring summer colors normally like January, February time, like in the depths of winter before spring comes around, and it's always really tricky to try and make the photos look really spring-like. One year I remember me and I think it was Casper, we went up on the hills. It was -4 degrees, and up on the hills like it gets windy as well, so it felt like I had like a proper Arctic blast on me while I was just there in a short sleeve t-shirt. So this year I've been very thankful that Lemieux very kindly sent me everything like half a year early pretty much. So I've been busy shooting all of that content, trying to get that done before all the autumn winter kind of, well, I was going to say leaves come out, leaves go away, but you know what I mean, when they start to turn orange and brown and that sort of thing. So the last 2 weeks me and Joey have been on it. Joey has been our photo shoot horse for that. So we've been everywhere. We've been to the hills. Actually, we actually got a little bit lost on the hills. Like, it is the same route we do every time. But the thing that threw us off is that on the hills, sometimes there's quite a lot of cows, and there's also like a bull sometimes in there as well. And basically all the cows were blocking our normal gate that we go through. So we went past the gate entrance. Me and my dad, he was on his bike. We were just having a bit of a jolly, like in between taking photos. We were just like chatting away. And then I was like, I don't really recognise this field that we're in. And we kept looking around. We're like, oh, I think we might have missed the gate or missed the turning. Luckily, we just, we thought, you know what? We can see the hedge at the end. We can see the sort of dead end. You never know. There might be a gate round the corner. Luckily, there was. The gate was open. We just trotted on through, back into the correct field that we should have been in. And we were back on track, back on the bridle path. So that was quite interesting. Went for a little bit of a detour. Also took Joey to the woods as well, which he loved. What we did was actually on that particular day, we did like a few photos in the woods. And then once we got all the content that we needed, I just took him for a little hack on his own. And I normally with my horses, like I often, because my horses are kept at my parents' house, there's often at least like one family member where I'm like, I'm going to go and hack one of the horses. Does anyone want to come with me? Which, especially when I'm on Joey, because he is a bit of a taller horse, Casper's all right because I can like get on from the ground without a mountain block or anything. But Joey, because he's just that bit higher up, it's a little bit more difficult if you get to one of the gates on my bridle path, which is just so tricky to do while being on a horse. I know I've done my little working equitation practice and all that kind of thing of being able to open and close gate on a horse, which, to be fair, both of my horses are very good, but there's just one which is just on a steep hill and it just slams back at you and it's just not that fun. So often if I do, actually, it's a lot safer when you're going on a hack to have a friend or family member with you just in case. You never know what could happen. But anyway, took him for a little trot around the woods and yeah, he was really good. Like often he normally has like another horse that's with him that he follows, or basically my dad. He likes following my dad. My dad is like his human that that knows that he's safe with. But yeah, he was such a good boy, had a little canter. Like, he's just been happy as Larry lately. Everyone always asks for like a little bit of a Joey update, and especially after his injury, now he's fully healed, we've just been going out and having some fun, really. So that gets on to, back onto the beach. That is what I was going to talk about. So Joey and I had a lot of fun at the beach. It was actually one of those trips which is kind of a bit spontaneous, kind of not. It was like the day before we checked the tides, because it's one of those beaches that you can only go to when the tide is out, because if not, there isn't really any sand. Like, we're a pebbly beach. But anyway, luckily it was like the tides were out, but not like as out as they like could be, but it was enough where we were like, okay, we can probably go to the beach. That morning, got up, went to the yard, and we were like, oh, it's a bit cloudy outside, and we were like, oh, is this gonna look spring summer, even though it actually is summer? Like, come on, UK, get the sunshine out. So we were like, oh no, are we gonna still do it? And then like the tide and everything, and we decided, you know what, let's just go, let's just have some fun. So anyway, we arrived at the beach, quickly got him tacked up, because again, there wasn't much beach left, so it was kind of like action stations, let's go, boom, boom, boom. And then as we arrived, also another horse box arrived, and part of me was like, oh no, Joey's going to get excited because he's going to have a friend, or he's going to be distracted. And then also part of me was like, girl, I thought like we were a little bit late to the whole getting to the beach situation. Like, they arrived after us, so I didn't feel as bad. Anyway, we went down. We took some photos, and then when the other horse came down, once they'd like tacked up and everything like that, Joey was brilliant for the photos, because he was just looking off into the distance at this other horse with his ears forward. I always say, like, sometimes when there's another horse, Joey goes into stallion mode, even though he's a gelding. Do not worry, like, he doesn't do anything like wild, but he just, when horses just, they puff themselves out a little bit more, they just kind of like put their head a little bit higher, and I was like, oh, someone's showing off. So anyway, we took some lovely photos of him, posing and all that kind of stuff. Do you know what, I'm actually kind of upset that we've shot it so in advance, because I can't show you any of this content until next year, which feels like a long, long way away. Maybe I'll post some in black and white, and then I'll just have to like post it again later. But again, confidentiality. I'm not allowed to tell you guys anything. I hate being that like person, that social media person, which is like, oh, I've got some exciting plans, but I can't tell you. Ooh, like, it's just really annoying. It's like, girl, just tell me. Like, come on now. But anyway, after we took the photos, like it, and all the like kind of like a bit of content, that kind of thing, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go over. I'm going to go and make friends. So I went over, obviously didn't get too close to the other horse because, I was going to say stranger danger, but I don't know if that works with horses. Strange horse, strange. Just be careful. You never know. Some horses can, not be as friendly as mine. Mine always want to make friends. Whoever the horse is, Joey and actually Casper's a little bit more introverted, but still, if there's another horse, he will want to make friends with them. So anyway, I could tell when I was walking like over, Joey had that little bit of a faster walk. Like, he does normally have a very lazy like donkey walk, so he had a bit of a faster walk. He was strutting his stuff, and I was like, oh hi, like, because their horse was very brave in the water. I think they go to the beach quite regularly. So anyway, they were like proper like in the water. Like, Joey, like, there are some like puddly bits which where the sand kind of dips that fills with water, which is fine in going in that, but Joey doesn't like going in the actual sea, just because he doesn't understand that the water moves towards him. So when the water moves towards him, he's like, oh fella, don't come near me, no, you're getting in my personal space, do not touch me. But when the sea goes back out again, he's like, yeah, you move away from me. I'll walk towards you. Yeah, you back it up, kind of thing. So then it just ends up Joey standing next to the sea and just like moving forward and backwards as the tide goes in and out. And I'm like, come on, Joey, get in the water. And he's like, nah, this looks a bit dodgy to me, mate. Nah, not for me. No, thank you. So anyway, he saw the other horse there, and it was kind of like, at first, he was like, oh, I really want to go and see the friend, but also I'm not sure about the water. And he was just kind of like trying to make a decision of what he wanted to do with his life. Like, he was just having a little horsey crisis. Anyway, but obviously before I got too close to the other horse, I was like, hiya, do you mind if we like come and follow you into the water? And like, no, that's fine. So anyway, Joey met his new friend Hope, and Hope very kindly gave Joey the confidence to get in the water and get near her, and they were both so good. Like, Joey was like, at first he was a little bit unsure, especially as once he was actually in the water. Don't worry, we didn't go like super deep, we weren't like swimming or anything. Like, that would have been a little bit too much for the poor boy. His brain had already like exploded a little bit at the thought that he was actually in the sea. But it was when the slightly bigger waves came over and crashed, and like, you know, all the like foam comes in. Basically, whenever the foam would come near him and kind of like go under him, he'd like give it like a little bit of a side eye. He was like, girl, you're getting a little bit close again. But he was really good, and his confidence really started to build up. And there was one bit where we started trotting through the water, which was probably really good for them. Like, going, obviously, always be careful if you do take your horses to the beach, and depending on where you live and where you are, you know, some beaches you have to be really careful when you do go there on horses. Like, I know quite a lot of the really popular ones you can't go on in the summer, or you can, but it has to be like 4 or 5 a.m. before peak times. Luckily, our beach you can go all year round at whatever time, because not that many people go, because it's a pebble beach most of the time, apart from, as I said before, when the tides go out. But yeah, Joey's confidence started to build, and I'm really good at going off topic. You guys know, if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, what I was originally, my line of thought was talking about how going to the beach is really good for your horses, for like their muscles. It's a bit like going in like a water treadmill, but of course always, you know, be careful. I've heard like some absolute horror stories which send shivers through me, of people taking their horses to the beach and getting stuck in like fishing line, or they're just being like rubbish in the water and like stepping on a can of something, or you know, that kind of stuff. So really do be careful and look out. Luckily, the beach that I go to is a relatively, like, it's a pretty clean beach as beaches go. So again, I said it's not very busy. There isn't really much of a car park. As I was saying before, it's a little bit like going to the water treadmill for the horses. I mean, I've never taken my horses to the water treadmill before. I feel like that's something that would be really fun, but I just don't know what they'd think to it. Like, let me know if your horses have been to one and what their first experience was like, because it must be quite weird. Like, I find it sometimes, you know, when I go to the gym and I go on the treadmill to start with, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to fall off. I'm going to go off the end. I'm going to go flying. You have to kind of like get your legs kind of into the rhythm, and then you're all right. Sometimes I feel like if I don't think about it, I'm fine. But if I think about it too much, that's when I get a bit like discoordinated. But anyway, so the girl that I met there, apparently she seen me before and that kind of thing at horse shows before. And I did think when I saw her, I was like, I really recognise you. So there we go, small world of horses. But I think her horse, she was saying, was currently like maybe been on box rest, or like they were rehabbing it, so that's why they decided to take her to the beach and get in the water and get her legs moving. So it was probably very good for Joey as well, after, you know, all the things that he's been through. His injury though, like, I did talk to my physio when he did have it all, being like, should I take him to the water treadmill, would that be good for rehab? But because a lot of Joey's injury was wounds, because, you know, he severed an artery, sorry, I've finished the gruesome topic, don't worry. Yeah, basically she was like, I would be more worried about infection in his wounds than, you know, rehabbing. So anyway, obviously I did all the rehab, but you know what I mean, rehab in a water treadmill. But anyway, so Joey had a blast. We even cantered through the water quite a few times actually, and all the photos, I've currently been recently editing all the footage back, and he had his ears forward and like almost all of the photos and the videos, and he was just so happy. Like, he had like a proper like slobber chops as well. Like, Joey is the sort of horse where when he's excited or when he's happy, he gets such a wet mouth. Like, he just has like foam coming out of his mouth. Probably like to a non-horsey person, you must be thinking like, oh my gosh, has this horse got like rabies or something? Like, what is this foam coming out of his mouth? But he just gets so excited. It's just like his happy thing. I guess like dogs, you know, they get a bit licky or a bit like excited sometimes. I mean, they do drool when they get excited about their food. But yeah, anyway, when I go to shows with Joey, we always have to bring like a Joey slobber cloth with us, because at shows, like, obviously it's a very exciting time. There are lots of other horses. He's having a bit of a party, you know. He's got his head held high. He's showing off. He's in stallion mode. But anyway, yeah, we had such a lovely time at the beach, and to think that we almost didn't go because of the tides and the weather, and the sun even came out as well. So we also have a little bit of a tradition at that beach of going to the Starbucks on the way home, because there is like a Starbucks at one of like the roundabouts, and we were like, do we go today or not? Because sometimes Joey is the sort of horse where he gets quite sassy in the horse box. Like, he will literally, we'll stop at like a red light or something, and he won't do anything like nasty. Like, he doesn't like proper like kick the horse box like some horses do, but sometimes he'll just kind of like be a little bit unsettled. Like, he'll maybe like stamp a hoof just a little bit more forceful than he really needed to, or he'll just kind of like sway from side to side, but in like a passive aggressive kind of way. You can see him in the back. Or sometimes he'll even neigh, and he's like, guys, hurry up, why have we stopped? Get the carriages moving. Like, Joey really, I feel like a lot of my instructors or people that I worked with him are like, this horse definitely thinks the world kind of revolves around him. Like, at dinner time, he has to have his dinner first. If other horses are being fed, he must be fed. Like, Joey is the king of the yard, so it's quite good getting him out about and being like, actually, the world doesn't revolve around me. There are other horses in this world as well. But anyway, yeah, he had great fun at the beach, and that was kind of our beach experience, really. So I don't really know. I thought it's not a motto. I was going to say there's probably like a meaning to that story. Maybe some days where you think, oh, maybe today's not the day to go to the beach. Go to that beach. If you had the time, you can make the time. Go for it. From Joey, now on to Casper. Now, you guys, if you've been listening for a while, you will know that I have been hacking out with a friend lately, with Casper, who keeps her horse at stables not too far away. We've been meeting up on hacks and that kind of thing. And I feel like every time we go for a hack, there is some sort of drama. There is some sort of chaos. And oh boy, you are not disappointed in this episode, because again, something dramatic happened. We've had the sneezing sheep. We've had the slobber on someone else, like the sneeze or the slobber on someone else's car. This one didn't involve sneezing, actually, so a little bit different. Oh, we had it happened again. I was going to say we didn't have any poo stories, but I do have a poo story for you. It happened again. Casper, trotting along, or I think we were just walking, actually, suddenly puts on the brakes. Now, Casper is the sort of horse, when he needs to go, he needs to go. Actually, I think the whole time I have owned Casper, that was a real mouthful there, sorry. In an arena, Casper has probably pooed about 5 times with me. Joey, on the other hand, he will poo every time we go into an arena. He will, like, he does one lap, and it's the first lap. He's like, yeah, time to crack that one out. Literally every time. Even when I would hack to my instructor's yard, he would save that poo, save it all the way there. As soon as he gets into that arena, he's like, yeah, now's the time. Let's go. So embarrassing. Everywhere we go, in a warm-up, in the ring. Oh my gosh, the other day, can't even believe it, didn't tell you this. I feel like this is such like a horse person conversation, so I really apologise if talking about poo is not for you. But Joey, I think he did about 6 poos in the matter of about an hour or 2 hours. He pooed in the wash bay. He pooed in the horse box. He pooed once we arrived. He pooed in the horse box on the way home. And then, once I was washing him off in the wash bay, he pooed again. And then let him out into the field. Did another poo. And I was like, Joey, where is all this poo coming from? Like, oh my goodness. Like, I know it's exciting going out, but goodness grief, that's like almost your daily allowance of poo all in one time. I mean, horses do like 9 to 10 poos a day, but I feel like I was going to say taking the piss, but he was taking the poo. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Anyway, Casper, he is a shy pooer. Like, he will only really go unless he really needs to go. And it will have to be like an absolute emergency for him to poo in any gait faster than halt. So anyway, we were walking along, and I don't know if it's because he was with a friend and he got excited or what. It was actually, my friend was on a different horse today. So the horse that Casper previously almost pooed on his head, it was a different one. Casper almost pooed on a lady's head. And anyway, he suddenly hit the brakes. Tail went up, no warning. Poop came out. This poor mare, her head, because obviously she wasn't expecting Casper to suddenly slam on the brakes, her head was literally almost directly under his tail, and it happened again for the second time. And I feel like once it's like, oh, that's a little bit funny, oh, like, sorry about that, that's a bit embarrassing. Second time though, I'd say that's no coincidence. Casper, you are a dirty horse. So anyway, he did that, and I was like, I'm so sorry. And then on our hack, So the horse that we were with was a bit of a younger horse. They haven't done much hacking. My friend had never hacked her horse across the bridle path and like cantered before. So I was like, okay, first canter. I was like, you go ahead, because her horse is very fast, like show jumping wise. Like she's having to hold this horse back sometimes. So I was like, you go first. I don't want your horse to end up bolting. I want it to be a nice positive experience for you. Casper, he's been around these parts many a years. Like I've had Casper for like 10 years now, I want to say. Yeah, that is wild. Almost 10 years. So anyway, I was like, look, we've been through here loads of times before. Like he doesn't find it exciting anymore. Like a lot of the time, like canter, and Casper does like the most lazy, lollopy, lopey canter. So I was like, okay, you go in the head, we'll go at the back. So anyway, she's getting her horse going, and Casper, out of nowhere, was like, oh yeah, we are cantering. And as soon as her horse goes into canter and I gave him like the tiniest squeeze, the tiniest weeniest squeeze, Casper decides, I'm going to do a 180 buck rear squeal fest. I don't know what happened. All I know is that my life flashed before my eyes and I was holding on for dear life. I stayed on because I've had Casper for 10 years and I have hopefully learnt how to sit his antics. But I was like, oh my gosh, I was not expecting that. I knew he was going to be excited. I knew he might be a little bit stronger than normal, but I did not know whatever he did happened. It was honestly like he was doing some sort of like martial arts. I was like, what is this? Anyway, my friend was as happy as Larry, cantering in the front, and then I was behind on Casper, who I felt like I was riding a kangaroo, was bouncing around like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, my friend, I need to catch up, I need to be in the lead, I'm so excited. And I was like, Casper, I kept like, she could really just hear me in the background being like, Casper, you're almost 18, you're an old man, where is this from? Where is this excitement and the speed? Where is this Casper when I do flat work? Like, he does not normally exist. Who, like, someone fed my horse something weird? Like, is this still Casper? Anyway, after that, got to the end of the field. I was still alive, still in one piece. We were all good. And my friend was like, were you right back there? And I was like, yeah. We were fine. We were chill. We were all right. And she had a very lovely positive experience for her first canter across the bridle path. Me and Casper, it was, you know what? Got my blood pumping. It was an adrenaline rush. It was fun. It was all good. But I was like, oh my gosh, Casper, I was not expecting that. So that was our interesting antics on our hack. I can't believe I haven't told you this yet, but I have discovered a new friend at the yard, at the stables. So the other day, I was in Mickey's stable, mucking out, and I just kept hearing this like flapping, all these noises. And I was like, what is going on? So anyway, my dad gave me a leg up, climbed up, like basically scaled the wall of Mickey's stable, had a little look, and basically the way the stables kind of are is, you know, the kind of bit that sticks out over where the stable door is, so they have like shelter if it rains and stuff. There's kind of like a little bit of a ledge there, or a little bit of a perch. I had a little look inside, and there are pigeon babies. I mean, I say pigeon babies, they're pigeons that are not adults. They're not like proper babies where they look like little, I was going to say something, I don't know if I can say that or not, if that's family friendly or not, but basically little baby birds sometimes look like little ball sacks. I don't know how else to describe it. I don't know if I'm going to keep that in or not. I hope nobody gets upset, but they do. Like, it is true. You know what I mean? But anyway, so they don't look like that. They have feathers. They look a little bit more cute. But anyway, so they were just chilling. I mean, it was very sad. There were two, I was going to say they're probably like adolescent pigeons, but adolescent pigeons doesn't sound as cute as baby pigeons. Baby pigeons sounds cuter, even though they don't look cuter, but you know what I mean. But anyway, and then there was also a dead one, and it was very sad. And I was like, oh, Mickey's stable has been smelling a bit funky for a while. That's probably it. I just thought Mickey was smelling a little bit funky and something was going on there. Like, Mickey is the worst to muck out. He has I feel like this whole episode has just been me talking about toilet things. I really apologise if anybody is eating during this podcast, but I feel like if you've been listening for this long now, you'll know that this is not the podcast to have your dinner to, or if you're just like me and these things don't make you feel squeamish. But Mickey is just like, I think due to his Cushings, like he is the wettest horse in his stable. Like his shavings are the most saturated, like it smells the most. His poos are pretty wet as well from his medication. So, I mean, it's easy to muck out in a sense where you just like, yep, just shovel everything out. There's no like separating or dissecting. Dissecting sounds really gross. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like sometimes when you're mucking out, you're like panning for gold. Different type of gold though. I mean, some people sell horse manure and get quite a lot of money from it on like the side of the road. I don't know, there would probably be some weirdos that would want to buy my horse's poo and not because they want to put it on their flowers. But anyway, moving swiftly on from that conversation. Yeah, so I found some new friends in Mickey's stable, so that was my little update for you all. Mickey, on the other hand, I can't believe I haven't told you about this yet. I don't know, actually, I don't know if I should tell you this or not. Maybe I won't tell you who we're dressing up as, but me and Mickey have dressed up for Halloween. Yes, I know it's a little bit early. We're still like quite a far, we're a month away from Halloween yet. It's only early October, but we've done it. Also, if you're actually watching the podcast, you might see that my hair is looking a little bit more well put together than usual. That's because I had the hairdressers today, because I did the Halloween filming yesterday, and I thought, if my, hair doesn't look good, if basically there was some pony paint involved, and I thought, if I can't get this out of my hair, at least hopefully Sophie, my hairdresser, can, sort it out. She can help me. So, anyway, me and Mickey had fun. Mickey is still... No, it's pretty much all washed out now. A bit like when I did the Barbie video. Like, for like maybe like a day afterwards, he had like a tint of pink for a little bit. Well, anyway, he's got a little tint of green now. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to give too much away. Also, I had like loads of face paint on and eyeliner, and I'm not really an eyeliner sort of person. And oh my gosh, I did not realise how difficult eyeliner is to take off with like makeup wipes or like makeup remover and that kind of thing. I'm not really a makeup wipe person. I don't know why I said that. I'm more of like a cotton pad with like actual like makeup remover liquid. The wipes, I just find like they proper like cut me up. Like my face feels like I've been rubbed raw when I use those. I don't know what it is. I just don't find them soft at all. Like cotton pads I find so much better. Although I should probably start getting like those reusable ones. But I feel like a lot of the time my face is just so disgusting that I'm like, that needs to be recycled. Like that needs to go away. But anyway, yeah. I was worried that when filming this podcast today, I would still have like a bit of eyeliner left, like residue, is that the right word? Anyway, having like a little bit of eyeliner left on, and you guys would be like, oh, Esme's gone for a little bit of different look. She's looking a little bit more gothic. Like I feel like some eyeliner just looks, oh yeah, like pretty, like she's got like a lot of makeup on, that kind of thing. Like this was like proper intense, like in my waterline, almost got it in my eye, like all over black eyeliner, like a very different look to me. I am more of like a pastel kind of, basic, I guess you could say, kind of gal. But there we go. I feel like I'm looking relatively normal today, so that's all good. I don't still have blue or red left on me, so it's all good, because actually tomorrow, the day that I'm recording this, tomorrow I'm off to Hoy's and I'm doing meet and greets and things, so really looking forward to that. So I am all good and all happy that I will be looking like myself for Hoy's and not like, oh, Esme's gone for a little bit of a different look. But anyway, that was me and Mickey's exciting time dressing up for Halloween. I cannot wait for you guys to see it. I feel like, I don't want to like feel like I'm tooting my own horn, but I feel like this has been probably the best dress up I've done. Like I sound like I'm a professional dressing up person. Like I said in the video, when you watch it, like I am not a cosplayer or someone that regularly dresses up. Like I just do this for a bit of a jolly. Like it was no way at all like a tutorial in how to do this. This is just me and my horse having some fun coming up to Halloween. So there we go. Something new I've actually done for the first time recently is I actually did a little bit of a TikTok live, which I feel like at first I was like, I've never actually done anything live before on the internet. I've gone this long in my social media career. Actually, that is a lie. I've done one live once, and that was at the Liverpool International Horse Show. They were like, Esme, can you just be on like a live for one? So like I was literally there. I was like, okay, guess I'm doing this kind of thing. Like no preparation, which I feel like was the best way to do. If it was like, oh yeah, you got to be live, and like I had like an hour to think about it, I'll be like, oh, you know, heart palpitations kind of thing. Like I don't know, it just seems a little bit more scary. It's a little bit out of control, like all those eyes on you at once. But that was just like a walk around the shopping area kind of thing, and I feel like I just went into chatty Esme mode where I'm just like verbally chatting everything that comes into my brain, like I did on the podcast, really. But anyway, I thought, you know what, I'm getting ready. I was going out for a meal with my friend afterwards, and I was like, normally I don't get ready in the evenings. Like now is the perfect chance to do a live because I'm getting ready. I have something to do, so I'm not just sitting there like a melon being like, what do I talk about? So if I couldn't think of anything to say, I was just talking about how I was doing my makeup, really. So I probably was on the live for I was thinking, you know what, I feel like 20 minutes is a good length, and I think I ended up being on there for like half an hour, 40 minutes, so we're on there a while. I even finished my makeup, and I was like, I just want to carry on answering your guys' questions because you had so many of them. But yeah, I think they're like for my first live where I was just like, hey guys, like just come on, I'm doing something. Like there was no like pre-warning or being like, hey everyone, I'm doing a live on Tuesday at this time. It was literally like, I'm live, come and join me on my story anyway. So there was quite a lot of you that watched as well, so yeah, it was really good fun. I'll have to do another one. I really enjoyed like chatting to you all. I feel like it was just like my podcast but live, really. It was just me like chatting about just random stuff, really. So there we go, that was good fun. I was worried that I might get like some really weird questions or interesting questions, especially if there were people that weren't my like normal audience watching. Also, please tell me I'm not the only person that's seen this on my For You page, but I feel like I was like, if this happens, I will be so excited. But I feel like they probably do it with people that have like not many people watching, so they can see the comments, because oh my gosh, you guys are asking so many questions. Like the chat was flowing, it was going so fast. So thank you to everyone that was on my live and asked all the questions and that kind of thing. But anyway, sorry, what I was going back onto is, you know, there's like those people, and they go onto random people's lives and they'll take a screenshot of their face and then they'll put it into one of those editing apps where you can like change the person's hair color or like add glasses or like change the color of their t-shirt that they're wearing and put like a different background, and then they'll set it as their profile picture, and then they'll just like comment in the live being like, oh my gosh, we look alike, or like we're twins, or like you're my doppelganger. And anyway, I always find like in those videos, the person who, if they're a girl, they're always like really offended and they're like, oh my gosh, I do not look like that. Like, I don't know, like, I don't really see it. Or like, they're always like a little bit like, nah, I don't think so. And then if it's a guy, they're always like so excited. They'll be like, oh my gosh, no way, we look so alike. Like, that is scary. No, that can't be real. Like that kind of thing. Although actually I saw one girl and she did the best like response to it. She was like so excited. It was like, girl, you're so pretty, like that kind of thing. Like it was lovely. So I was like, oh, I really hope I get one of those, because I'd love to. I feel like it would just be so funny. I would so be down for that. So I feel like if you guys are listening to this, there'll be someone now who's listened to the podcast being like, I need to let Esme's dreams be real, of someone like basically screenshotting my face and being like, we look like twins. I would love to know, like, if there's someone out there that's like my celebrity, I was gonna say celebrity like, you know, twin. Is that what people say? I feel like doesn't doppelganger sounds like too much of a mouthful. I was going to say celebrity crush, but that's something totally different. I feel like the ones I get most is Elle Fanning, who is Aurora in Maleficent, or I also get Daisy Ridley, who is Rey in Star Wars, but I feel like younger me when I had brown hair looks like that, or darker hair. I feel like that one I actually had twice in real life as well. Like, I feel like it's every now and again I'll just like get a random person, they're like, oh my gosh, you look so much like this person, like just out of the blue. So I had that once. I was at the beach with my friends and this girl just came up to me and was like, oh my gosh, you look so much like Daisy Ridley, I just need to tell you. And I was like, oh, okay, Thanks. And then my back when I was in school, actually, my biology teacher said that I looked like her, or like he was watching the news and she was like on the TV or something, and it was when she had blonde hair and was like, oh my gosh, that looks like Esme. So I don't really personally see it, but I think that's because I know my face quite well, because like, it sounds weird, but I spend a lot of time looking at my face because I do a lot of editing of like my footage and things. So there we go. I promise I don't just like spend a lot of time looking in the mirror. I mean, a lot of the time when I'm editing, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm cringing at myself. But anyway, time to edit this. This is my job. Here we go. But anyway, yeah, who else do I also get? Oh, I can't remember her name. It's Emma something. Emma something being with B. The girl who is Maeve in Sex Education. I've got her a few times before. I was at a wedding and someone told me that. And then also when I did the Barbie video, a lot of you guys said that I look even actually one of the ladies from my management, she said I also looked like, oh my gosh, why is my brain gone blank? I'm so good at doing this in the podcast. I'll just like trail off for ages. And then Margot Robbie, that's it. Which I feel like is the biggest compliment in the world. So thank you. But I really don't see it. But anyway, they are probably the people that I say I get told I look like the most. Although actually, when I was in year 7, I remember going to the village shop and the girl that was working there said that I looked like Emma Watson or Hermione Granger. I think that's because I had like quite frizzy, curly, like brown poofy hair at the time. So, but I took that as a compliment because Emma Watson is very pretty. But there we go. I feel like, let me know in the comments if you're watching on that sort of platform. I never know what you guys are listening on, actually, because you guys listen on like all the different streaming platforms to the podcast. So yeah, let me know who you think I look like, or if you know, it could be, I was gonna say it could be your nan's dog, but you never know, I could look like your nan's dog. So there we go. Yeah, that was that conversation. I feel like I'm really bad at like ending all the like little like bullet points I have in my head of what I want to talk about in the podcast. Sometimes I just end up talking about something random that just like pops into my head. But yeah, how did I even get onto that topic of lookalikes? I can't even remember. That's where my brain goes. Was it when I was talking about the Halloween stuff? No. Oh, TikTok Live. That was it. I was talking about people with doppelgangers on TikTok Live. That's how we got there. Anyway, I'm very good at going off topic. Lastly, something that I've actually really been enjoying lately is I have got back into running a little bit more. It's something that I do every now and again where I'm like, oh, for my fitness, I should probably go for a little bit of a run. But like, if you're ever feeling sad, if you're ever feeling like a bit de-energized, like that sounds like it's going to be the opposite, but literally, just go for a little run. Gets your heart pumping. I quite like my little runs because actually a lot of the time I force myself to go for a run because I either have to run to work because like my boyfriend's borrowing my car, or like something's happened or someone's borrowing my car, and my car's at my parents' and I've been dropped off somewhere or that kind of thing, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna run to work. Some days I just wake up, I'm like, you know what, today's one of those days. But no, my runs are really lovely because there's loads of cows near where we are, so a lot of the time actually it's quite, oh, sorry, I had a little hiccup then. It's quite nice, actually, when I get to the cow fields because I always walk through them because I feel like don't really want cows chasing me, because I feel like that is the one thing that a lot of, like, non-country people don't really realise about, you know, being in the countryside and going across footpaths where there are cows. Cows are very inquisitive animals, and a lot of the time, like, they just want to come over and see who you are and what you're doing, or give you a little sniff or that kind of thing. And a lot of people, they see the cows and they run away from them. The cows just want to see who you are. So anyway, they start running after you, and that's when people can get like stampeded. So whenever I go for my run, I always like walk through the cows, say hello fellas, or probably fellaresses. That's not a real word, but here we go. I'm making it one. Hello, ladies. That sounds creepy. I'm not going to say that. I'm just saying, hi, cows. How you doing? Top of the morning. I'm just going for my little walk through here. I actually talk to them. Like, that is literally like my monologue when I'm talking to the cows. I'm like, hello, cows. How you doing? Lovely morning we have here. Sun shines out. Got some good grass. Oh, lovely to see you, Matilda. Yeah, lovely. Just like name the cows randomly. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to scooch on around here. Don't worry, I'm not going near your baby. Your baby is protected with you. And just, you know, give them a little chat. And then once I'm far enough away, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go for a little run now, cows. Don't worry, you don't need to follow me. I'm just going for a jog. And there we go. Please tell me I'm not the only person that like talks to livestock or animals like that across footpaths. I do it to sheep as well. There are just like sheep in the way. Actually, often the sheep fields are the bridle paths where I'm on the horses. I'm like, oi, you, Doris down there. Yeah, you lie down. I just need to kind of scoot past. So if you want to get out of the way, oh, perfect. Thank you very much. Like, I just like chat to them. I just like to let them know I'm coming through, because if you're a sheep and you're lying down and you're asleep and like suddenly open your eyes and there's like a Casper near you, you're going to be like, oh my days, what is happening? Like, that's one big sheep. So I just like to let them know. It's like when there are really nice cyclists on the road and they see a horse coming and they always go, hello horse, I'm just coming around here. So because a lot of the time with cyclists or bikes, you can't really hear them coming. So if you're a nice cyclist and you do that, or if you're a cyclist and you didn't know, please say hello to horses. It will make a rider smile and a horse smile. Or if I see a bike, I always go, okay, Joey, there's a little bike behind you there. Can you see it? There we go. Well done. Let's go. That kind of thing. Like, I feel like maybe it's just me, but I love talking to people and talking to animals. Like, I'll just talk to random things. I'm the sort of person where if I walked into a tree, I'd say sorry to it. Let me know if you also do that. Like, I'm just that sort of person. But anyway, yeah, I've just been really enjoying like a little run. I feel like also with my runs, I like to do it more as like more of like a long distance than like a sprint. Like, I like to go for a little jog, and then if something happens, like there's a stile, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna like have a little walk to the stile to catch my breath back, because if you go like proper all in intense, you just make it a horrible experience. Then you never want to run again. But if you just put on some good music, obviously be careful if you're running on the road, because I do not want anyone getting run over, but listen to some good music, go for a little jog in the sunshine, which probably won't happen now, we're going into winter and autumn and that kind of thing, but still, I just feel like my head's a lot clearer after a run. But anyway, I think we'll probably wrap up today's episode there. Just want to say thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, feel like this one was a little bit more on the rambly side, but there's always something interesting that we end up talking about, even if it is, doppelgangers and other weird, strange, a lot of poo. Sorry about that. But anyway, I just want to say a huge thank you to Red Post for sponsoring the podcast. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time. Thanks for listening. Bye.